So it seems like it has happened again. ChaChaChilla is back. Well, at least a lot of people think she is back due to a couple of tweets that have come out that have essentially been revealing the fact that she could be actually going on an alt account and trying to restart up her career again. Now, I do think this is a pretty crazy one because it just seems to, make everything look worse for her. And I don't know why this keeps on happening, because if you don't know, there was a previous situation going on with ChaChaChilla, where essentially she was accusing like a lot of the members of Socks Agency and stuff, including like Ad-Free TV, on a Minecraft server of being ableist. Even though it wasn't ableist, and also they didn't even say what she thought they said, and it wasn't even the person that they thought it was. So again, it was absolutely crazy. There's a lot of lying, a lot of kind of stuff going on in there. If you guys want to catch up on that, I have a ton of videos on that. If you guys want to go back and have like a little bit of a recap on it. But essentially, it seems like she is back ish. And you can see she did put out an apology on the 3rd of January, essentially saying that she'll be apologizing to people, and also saying, she attempted stuff as well, which I don't know if that's supposed to be an attempt to like guilt people, but hey, I don't know. And we'll go through this one tweet in a minute, because people have been saying stuff like this, like seems like ChaChaChilla is trying to come back to VTubing after inferior attempt at trying to screw people over in Mythos and also Socks VTuber agency. These people are like cancer, and they always try coming back, hoping that a rebrand would be enough for people to forget. She should have just stuck to doing NSFWVA and never gotten into VTubing. And yeah, this is the post. This is from someone called Sage, who has said, Chacha, you can make as many alts as you want and use that silly little voice changer all you want, but we know it's you. Stop lying and stop joining our servers like nothing ever happened. You're making it worse for yourself. And you can see here, it seems like they say members join Tactician Veil is the name that they are saying it is. And you can see it's got the same profile picture as the alt account that we saw previously on the previous kind of stuff whenever she was talking about Iron Mouse and everything like that. So she still hadn't changed the profile picture at that point, which was pretty crazy. You got stuff saying, could you tell Drew I just want to give her my phone number and she can unadd me after that? Odd. And obviously, yeah, there's some other kind of accounts that they keep bringing up, saying here's the first 4 pages of the doc, which yeah is pretty interesting. They say her new VTuber Twitter account. So she switched to she switched the connected Twitter account on her Discord after we called her out in VC. She's trying to get back into contact with her former friends. So yeah, it seems like she had a problem with essentially having a like an account associated with her Discord account, which obviously people found out was just ChaChaChilla, and then they switched it as soon as they called her out on it, which I think is pretty funny. And there's also a couple of clips and stuff that have also hit it. For example, say a second voice changer has hit the tower, sorry, and this is what their new voice sounds like.
Voice reveal because you can't leave well enough alone.
So, yeah. I don't really like my voice. But, you insisted on it. You insisted on making me come out as trans. I hope you're happy.
And so, yeah, obviously this was the first voice.
Voice reveal because you can't leave well enough alone.
Which just sounds like an AI thing. That doesn't even sound real. It just sounds like an AI dude. And then obviously it sounds like even more of a voice change afterwards, as we heard. It's weird. It's incredibly weird, and a lot of people are starting to catch on to this. And yeah, there is definitely something fishy. I don't know if it's 100% ChaChaChilla. Obviously, a lot of people are saying it is due to the fact of the like kind of association with the accounts and things. But it 100% is kind of fishy at the end of the day, and a lot of people are kind of calling this out, right? And obviously, this is the full account over here being Tactician Veil. They're saying, a lot of stuff over on their Twitter, and it is getting pretty wild because the main kind of point that they're going with is essentially trying to call people like Sage transphobic, essentially for, calling her out for being ChaChaChilla, and they're saying, no, I'm using a voice changer because I'm trans, and not because I'm ChaChaChilla, which obviously, I don't know. I feel like it is an excuse, and obviously it does, a lot of people are trying to like, say that, oh, it's because, she's trans and you're being transphobic, and trying to really hammer home the point that they're trying to be transphobic behind this. But I don't think there is anything transphobic, right? She didn't have to reveal the voice. She didn't have to do any of this. But again, they ended up choosing to try to prove themselves, and a lot of people are still not kind of, I guess, convinced. I would say, I came back to VTubing as an escape from the real world. I don't like how I look or sound. I never expected to be ostracized and ridiculed because I use a voice changer and forced to out myself as trans. Which, again, the voice changer isn't even the main issue that people have. It's the associated accounts on places like Discord and stuff that obviously are associated to ChaChaChilla's kind of other socials and things, which, again, obviously is the bigger issue and the bigger kind of indicator that you are her. Because, again, you know, it's fine if you want to use a voice changer or whatever if you're trans, but at the same time, you know, it's not because of that, is it? It is not because of that. And the fact that they're trying to push this so hard is pretty disrespectful to trans people as a whole, if they, you know, if they turn out not to be, right? They say the fact that people can get away with being so openly transphobic in this day and age is baffling to me. So obviously, you're trying to play that card. And obviously, people said, if you're just going to say this is a voice changer, I give up. Now, this is going to be very, very quiet. I'm going to have to probably, you know, boost this up into editing.
I have to whisper right now because my family's asleep, but I don't know what to do to prove to you guys that I'm not who you think I am.
So yeah, obviously, in a whispering kind of voice, you can see that it's the most put on like deep voice I've ever seen. Like there's one thing of having a deep voice, and there's one thing of like trying to put on a deep voice. And they're like, yeah, guys, I'm pretty much. You can tell because people like to drop. I don't know, the kind of, you know, muscles in their mouth to do it, and you can tell. You can tell with the kind of, I guess, the sounds that come off the voice. And again, it is just someone trying to put on a deep voice, potentially even using a voice changer still as well, which I think is quite crazy because, yeah, people go, oh, I don't know why they do this. So I'm not sure why I'm being targeted, but your evidence is just 4 pictures with no links between them whatsoever. So yeah, obviously that's what they said down there. A lot of people said no way, said she's so tiring, and yeah, obviously a lot of people unhappy about this. And it seems like ChaChaChilla has also responded on their own account saying, not sure what's going on, but quite frankly, I don't see what any of this has to do with me. You want a comment or something from me? Here it is. I barely log in anymore of the daily threats that I receive. I stopped my venture of VTubing altogether. I sincerely hope all of you chase down every single person you think is me and make them quit VTubing. I hope there are no VTubers when you're done. Logging out again, but hey, take your moral high ground and ride with it. Witch hunts never were the good of people, but for the self-superior man. Oh yeah, one last thing. If you're a VTubers, stay in the VTuber sphere. I'll stay out of it, but you need to keep your head in your little tiny world. And obviously, yeah, a lot of people are not super happy with that either. Because again, I don't know. I don't know if it's 100%, you know, ChaChaChilla, but I think the fact that, you know, she's actually logged into Twitter, right, logged in, and then made a comment on it and said they're logging out again. I think it's kind of suspicious because it seems like she's been following this situation in some kind of way, shape, or form. Whether she's been following it because this is literally her and she's been involved in it, and she thinks, oh yeah, this is how I get them. I'm gonna make a statement on my other account, or if this is a case of, you know, she's been watching it from, you know, a different account. It seems like she hasn't left Twitter or whatever, and is still actively following this kind of stuff in some way, which makes me even more suspicious that it is her, if she is commenting on this. Well, apparently she's been logged out, right? Because if you've been logged out, guess what? If you're logged out of Twitter, you don't see Twitter threads. So again, I think it is pretty crazy, right? But yeah, I mean, this is essentially everything that people are calling out at the moment. Again, as I said, I'm not 100% sure that it is ChaChaChilla, but I think there is a lot of points and a lot of evidence here to suggest that it could be, and maybe that they are trying to make a comeback at least. But hey, we'll have to see if there's anything else that kind of develops from this. I think that at the very least, right, there should have been some more kind of evidence to prove that they are not ChaChaChilla. And again, as much as I hate people going after people and whatever over things, I think with you know, these kind of screenshots and stuff of them joining discords and being very, very obvious about the fact, you know, saying you can join us with as many ults as you want, the fact that they've been involved with this person before and whatever, it seems like maybe there is some kind of correlation here. And yeah, hopefully people do get to the bottom of it over time. And of course, I'll keep you guys up to date if there's any extra kind of news on this in the future. But yeah, that's about all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to GameStop, use my code CHACHACHILLA, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. Definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. So, yeah.